There's a fruit fly. Where does it come from? We're doing one half of my, I just can't get a break today. Please, please just leave me alone. The fruit fly is back. These are bad condition. Hello, fruit fly, please leave me alone. Hey guys, it's me Sylvia, back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna do a really fun kind of video. We're doing one half of my face using adult makeup, or how an adult would do their makeup, and then the other half is using kids makeup, or how a child would do their makeup. So I thought this would be a lot of fun. I did the full face using kids makeup challenge a while back. So I thought, why not do it again with a bunch of new kids makeup and see how those products directly compare to higher end makeup. I'm gonna go wash off this makeup because I've had it on all day. You could probably tell, looking a little greasy. Ignore my super pale face. We'll do the kids side first and then the adult side after. Let's start out with primers. For the kids side, I did manage to find a face primer. It came in this little kit. We have the beauty sponge here. It's got a highlight loose powder, contour and highlight stick. I was very impressed by this. I was like, dang, they got kids highlighting, contouring, the whole shebang. I'll grab the primer from in there. Besides this kit though, I wasn't seeing like any single face primers. Oh wow, that's really, really watery. It smells really good. Feels literally like nothing. Is this doing anything? I'm gonna put some more. So it's a very runny, watery consistency, and it just feels really cooling when I put it on because it's liquid. But other than that, like, I don't feel like it's doing anything. Now for the adult side, I have a very pricey, high-end luxury primer from Guerlain. It's the Meteorite Space. It has accents on the E's, so I'm supposed to say it French-like, and I can't. So this is definitely a product that I feel like only an adult would use, and no kid is really gonna spend all that money on a primer. Let's apply that all over. I love this primer though. It's very, very hydrating. It gives your skin like a natural sheen to it and just a fresh base to start out with. So now for foundation, the kids makeup, I could only find a BB cream from Claire's. They only had the shade Light. I guess every child is the same skin tone. And I'm also gonna use the beauty sponge that they had in that one kit. This is it next to the actual beauty blender. My beauty blender is so dirty, I'm so sorry. But they look the same size. It's just an obvious difference in how it feels. This one is very, very squishy. This one feels so hard. Now I'm gonna go wet both of them. So these are the beauty sponges after I wet them and wrung them out. This one is the kids one. It really did not expand at all. It's still very, very hard. And this is the beauty blender, which literally doubled in size. And so I think that's a good indication on how the kids one is gonna apply. But let's just see what we can do with this BB cream here. Oh God. Now let's try and blend this out. So that is not a good sign. The fact that it's just like leaving imprints everywhere, not actually blending it out properly. So besides the shade, I mean, obviously it's horrendous, but the actual formula is very, very thin, and this sponge sucks. It's very hard and is soaking up a lot of the product. And obviously this BB cream is not really full coverage enough to cover any real imperfections, which is fine. I'm gonna try and build it, see how full coverage we can get it. I feel like a child though wouldn't really care. They would probably honestly put this on with their fingers, which might even be better than this beauty sponge. And even for a BB cream, like, this is very, very subtle. It almost feels like it's a tinted moisturizer. So if a child is applying this, they're not going to even know the difference if it's not the same color as their actual skin tone. They're probably just like going with it. So for the adult side, I'm gonna use Too Faced Born This Way foundation, which is a very well-known foundation in the adult world. Like, that sounds weird to say, but I feel like the majority of people who know about makeup know about this foundation, and that's because it's really good. But it is, I feel like, considered more of like a higher end product, and I feel like a child definitely would not know to go for a foundation like this. And we're gonna apply that with the Beauty Blender. So right off the bat, it's much easier to blend. You can see the Beauty Blender is so much softer that it's evenly dispersing the product and not just like leaving imprints. So this is a medium to full coverage foundation, so it will cover up any imperfections, which I'm assuming an adult would want. And then also an adult would know to match their foundation to their neck and to their body. So I'm blending it on my ear, blending it down my neck, and it matches flawlessly. So foundation is on, moving on to concealer. And I actually did find a concealer in the kids makeup, but once again, they only had like light and medium. Just two shades is not really gonna match every child out there. So let's just apply this. I honestly have a feeling that it's gonna, be darker than my BB cream. And again, I'll use the kids beauty sponge to blend that out. But once again, a child wouldn't really notice if there's a difference in like the shades. So I feel like they would be happy regardless. If you're a child, you just wanted to do something on your face. What I do think is great though, on the majority of the kids products, they have directions on how to use it. I swear that was never a thing when I was a child. Like, you just had to guess or watch your mom to figure out how to apply beauty products, and their directions right on here. All right, so the kids side is on. Moving on to the adult side, we're using Lancome's Ultra Wear High Coverage Concealer. So again, this is more of a higher end product, and I have a shade that's just a little bit lighter than my foundation, so it's great to brighten the under eye. So now let's blend that out with the Beauty Blender, and it's also a medium to full coverage foundation, so it's gonna do well to cover up any discoloration, dark circles. I'm just gonna dab a little bit of whatever is left over on the Beauty Blender in the center of my forehead and center of my chin, basically the high points of my face. And this is just gonna help to highlight. So we've kind of highlighted on the adult side, but we do actually have a highlight and contour stick for the kids side as well. This really reminds me of the NYX cream contour stick. So we'll use this to contour on the kids side. And again, they only had one shade option for this. So if you're really deep skin tone, this is not gonna contour anything for you. So let's apply. And we'll just follow the directions on here, because that's what a child would do if they bought this product and didn't know how to use it. I usually don't contour my nose, so they even contour their eye here. Never really contour my eye. And then we'll use the highlight shade where they suggest, blending that out with the kids beauty sponge. So it really just looks like it's completely just blending away. Okay, so it's completely blended out, and it honestly looks like I did nothing. The NYX one is for sure better. So for the adult side, I do have a contouring stick as well. This one is from KKW Beauty, which is an online makeup brand. So you would have to have a credit card to purchase this, which I'm sure most children do not have. So we'll apply where I would normally contour. This is in the medium shade, and it comes with the brush, which we will use to blend it out, which everyone always says this looks like kids makeup. Compared to this side, you can see it definitely performs a lot better than kids makeup. And just because we contoured the nose on the other side, we'll also contour it on this side. Now also for the adult side, I'm going to bake the under eye and set the foundation so it doesn't crease. Now I didn't see any sort of loose setting powder for kids makeup, so I don't think they would be using this in their makeup routine. We'll skip that on that side. So obviously we do this to lock in the concealer, make sure it's not creasing, and then we set the foundation to make sure we don't get super oily throughout the day. So now let's do brows. For the kids side, I did find a brow product. This was a whole palette for brows, which I was very shocked by. So you got quite a few products there for your brows. We have the powders, there's even brow bone highlight shades, a pencil, some sort of brush, and I think there was supposed to be a stencil here, but I didn't notice I was missing when I purchased this, so wah wah, we won't use that. And then it also has directions here on how to use all the products. It's just an image, which is kind of hard to follow along, and I feel like a child won't really know what's happening there, but I mean, it's there, so at least they try to help our children with their eyebrows. I love how I keep saying our children, like I have children, like I don't. This is the most pathetic brow brush I've ever seen in my life. So we're gonna follow the directions and just exclude the stencil, which we do not have. But first it says to stencil using the crayon. We'll just pretend there's a stencil. Wow, this is actually really creamy, like almost too creamy where all the product is going on my brows, and it's hard to control. And I feel like a child would be super heavy-handed with this, so maybe that's not the kind of formula you want in a kid's brow pencil. So now I guess it kind of shows them filling in with the powder, which is what we'll do. This is just painting over my entire brow. Ew. And now they say to highlight, but I don't have a brush for that, so I'm gonna just use my finger to highlight my brow bone. It's actually pretty pigmented. Okay, so the brow highlight is not that bad. Now I'm gonna use the spoolie brush to kind of blend it all together. I mean, it's a little bit of a bold brow. They wanted us to use the crayon, the brow powder, all of that together kind of made it really thick. And I feel like if you're a child, you're gonna definitely be super heavy-handed and you're gonna come out with a thicker brow. So that's fine. It's a kid's brow. Let's move on to the adult side. So for the adult side, we have two brow products, both from Urban Decay. We have the Brow Beater in neutral brown and the Brow Tamer, which is a clear brow gel. So the brow pencil is a great product for my specific brows, which I feel like if you're an adult that knows a little bit about makeup, you would know what brow product to lean towards depending on how thick your brows are, if you need something more to fill them in or if you need something just to define. And my brows are really thick, so I chose a product that would define my shape. And I did a lighter hand at the very beginning of my brow and then a heavier hand at the tail of my brow just to keep it more natural. natural. A little makeup trick that children wouldn't know about. Now I'm gonna brush that out with the spoolie, and we'll lock it all in place with the brow gel. So this is great for unruly brows, and that was not available in the kids' makeup that I could find. So now I'll just dust off that baking powder. So moving on to eyes. For the kids side, we actually don't have an eyeshadow primer. I could not find one, so kids just skip out on that step and they're gonna go right into playing with the colorful eyeshadows. So I found this cute kitty little compartment here, and it has 4 different levels, and you can unfold it. This is like the epitome of kids makeup. It looks like one layer is the lip products, one is like blushes, I'm assuming, and the other is eyeshadows. And you even have a couple of tools in there, so we're gonna use those. So we have the tiny little applicator. Oh my god, this thing makes me cringe so hard. We're gonna go for the most colorful color just because I feel like that's what a child would do. And I'm gonna apply that all over the lid and just basically painting it on. Blue shimmer, that is definitely kids makeup material. I used to rock blue shimmery eyeshadow in like grade 7. Okay, we have that, and just because we are a child that wants to play with everything, I'm gonna go in with another shade. And I'll just apply that up here where we have some more space. And why not, we'll go for the yellow shade as well. We'll just apply this on the inner corner. So I'm really trying to pack on this color, and it's obviously not very pigmented. It's just like a dusty powder that really is not doing much. Now for the adult side, I'm gonna start by priming my eyelid before going in with eyeshadow, because as we know, that is going to help keep the eyeshadow on, prevent it from creasing, help to make the color more intense, all of that. And those are things that you want in your makeup if you want it to be lasting all day while you're at work being an adult doing adult things. So now for eyeshadow on the adult side, I'm gonna be using my custom palette. So these are a huge assortment of single eyeshadows that I've like hunted down, the shades that I like. They're from Makeup Geek, MAC, ABH. So I feel like this is definitely an adult thing. Like they're definitely more expensive to make than it would be to just buy an eyeshadow palette. And a child is definitely not gonna go to like different stores or order these shadows online because they just want something pretty and bright. So they just keep it simple. We're not. We're gonna use our custom palette. So first I'm going in with the shade Locked and Loaded from ColourPop, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone. Now I'm taking Paper Tiger from ColourPop and using it as a transition shade. This is the 217 brush from MAC, and obviously switching brushes is gonna help you get a better application, and this big old blending brush is gonna help to gently apply that shadow and blend it out flawlessly. And this shade is going to help to blend out any other colors that we're going in with on the lid. Now I'm just gonna do a basic eye look using neutral colors, something an adult could just wear to work. I'm also gonna bring that my lower lash line, blending it out. This is the 275 brush from MAC. Switching it just because it's a little bit more slender, so it'll help us get right underneath our lash line. Now using Saddle from MAC, I'm going to deepen up the crease and the outer corner. And I'm using an even smaller blending brush from Juvia's Place. So now I'm going in with Gold Mine from MAC, just in the inner corner part of my lid here, and blending it into that darker brown shade. And it's just like a basic transition shade, deeper outer corner, shimmery lid. And of course, making sure to switch between brushes and blend all the shades seamlessly into each other. Okay, so both eyeshadows are applied. You can tell a difference in the quality of eyeshadows, obviously. These ones were a lot more pigmented. They blended into each other very well. There's no patchiness. They were buildable to get them more intense and even more pigmented. And the kids ones definitely were nothing like that. They're very, very chalky. It's more just like for the vibrant color, and obviously not for creating complex eye looks. So moving on, we have eyeliner. I actually did find kids eyeliner from Claire's. So we're gonna try and apply this. Seems like this is a very advanced makeup product for children. So it's a dip. It has a very pointy brush at the end. I'm gonna just try and apply it like a child would apply it. This is when it would go all bad for a child. There's a lot of product on there. Okay, that's actually better than I meant to do it, but this is actually really jet black. I'm actually kind of impressed with it. We'll honestly just leave it at that because I'm not sure that a child would create a wing and they would probably honestly get it all over their eye, but we'll keep it simple. But for the adult side, we're using Ciate London's Fierce Flicks eyeliner. So this is a felt tip eyeliner pen, which I feel like is the most common eyeliner used among adults. So liners on the adult side, I winged it out. That's gonna elongate the eye. It's very flattering, and I feel like that's a super trend right now. So the majority of adults, if they want to use liquid liner, they're probably going to wing it out. So moving on to mascara, for the kid side, I have the Free Spirit Lengthening Mascara. So it's in a very, very pretty tube, metallic, very eye-catching. Let's apply. The wand seems pretty basic. It says you're gonna achieve sky-high length and definition. I don't know if that's sky-high, but it's doing something, which is saying a lot compared to the rest of the stuff we've been using. So after multiple layers, this is basically as intense as I can get my lashes, which is not a lot. They basically just made my lashes black, but it didn't really do much else. So a child's probably not gonna wait for it to dry, so I'm gonna look around a little bit. That's definitely gonna happen. At the very least, the kid's gonna get it on their lid. So moving on to the adult side, we have a very high-end product again from Lancome. This is the Monsieur Big Mascara. This is a super volumizing, very lengthening mascara, and it's quite pricey, so a child definitely is not gonna spend this much money on a mascara. But you'll see that it definitely adds a ton of volume, lengthens your lashes, and makes them huge without making it clumpy and without shedding or flaking throughout the day. So an adult would definitely want those things in a mascara, which is why I chose this one. Now to avoid getting the mascara like on your skin here, usually you apply by looking forward in the mirror like this and tilting your head down. Then you can apply on your lower lashes. And then you just want to look straight and be careful not to look around a lot, so then you don't get this happening on this side. So both are on. You can see it's a pretty significant difference. My lower lashes look a lot longer and my top ones are a lot more thick and long. So last step for the eyes is lashes. For the kids side, I found these lashes at Claire's. I was really like confused as to why there would be false lashes around kids makeup anyway, just because I never started wearing false lashes until I was like in my late teen years. And this actually comes with lash glue and an applicator inside there. So we are gonna apply using that, which I'm very concerned about, like it's not gonna end well. I'm also not gonna cut the lashes just because a child probably would not know to cut the lashes. So this is the lash glue that it came with. I'm gonna apply that, just assuming that a child would know to put it there. They might even put it directly on their eye, like you never really know. And we're not gonna wait for that to dry or get tacky. We're just gonna put it right on there. Oh God. So this is what happens when you don't wait for it to dry, but would a child really know to wait for it to get tacky? Probably not. Now let's just try and clamp that together. So because we didn't cut the lash, it's obviously much longer than my natural eye shape, and it's poking my inner corner. Also, the glue kind of burns a little bit, and it's probably not gonna last very long. Even if I applied the lash properly, I would assume that it'd probably lift after a few hours, just because I've never really had great experience with glue that comes included with the lashes. Now for the adult side, I'm gonna use Huda Beauty Farrah lashes, which are quite pricey, but they're great quality. They can be reused many, many times. And there's also all types to choose from. So you can choose some depending on your eye shape, your style. Basically, all of that is considered if you're an adult looking for a false lash. So I'm gonna apply Duo Lash Glue. This is very strong lash glue. So I'll wait for this to get tacky, just so then when you place it on, it won't move. And this lash is cut perfectly to fit my eye, so it's not going to be extended at the end there. So moving on to the rest of the face, I have something to highlight for the kids side. This is the Claire's Bronze Highlighting Palette. So I thought that there was some bronzers in here too, but it looks like it's just all highlighters. We'll just skip out on the bronzer on the kids side. And I'm just gonna use the makeup brush that came in the other kids makeup kit. So I'll go in with these two shades. Oh my gosh, that's actually pretty bomb. Whoa, okay kids makeup. Of course, a child would probably just take this and put it all over their face, but it does give you some direction on here. So that's where we're gonna apply it. Okay, that highlight is actually pretty bomb. This is definitely the most impressive makeup that we used on the kids side. But again, it is like very advanced kind of makeup techniques to do highlighting and contouring. So maybe that's more of like preteen kids makeup, not sure. So for the adult side, we have the Nicole Guerrero Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'll use a little bit of Glow Getter and Forever Young. And we'll apply that on the cheekbone. So I'm using a shade that complements my skin tone the best. So this is like a very bronzy shade, but it's not too dark. And it's gonna do a good job of highlighting my skin tone. I feel like that's another thing for the kids palette. Like I did use a lighter shade to match the BB cream color to work with like the lighter complexion on this side. But a child wouldn't know that. The instructions or the image on the palette didn't really say what color to use if you're a kid. And even if you see that diagram, you're probably just gonna use whatever shade speaks to you. Now for blush on the kids side, we're gonna go back in with this really fun kit. And I'm just gonna mix like all these shades for my blush because I feel like that's what a kid would do. And we're gonna apply. So there's like barely anything there, but I'm not dusting off my brush or anything like that because those are like advanced things that I feel like a kid wouldn't really know about makeup. So again, just being heavy-handed with it as a child child would do and going in. But even so, there's really not much pigment to the product and it's like super, super chalky. So it's just like dusting away and not really applying like a blush should. Now on the other side, we're gonna use a blush from Becca Cosmetics. This is a mineral blush. So it's very finely milled. It has a great formula. And again, this is a brand that is a little bit more higher end. And we're gonna apply that right on the apples of the cheeks above that contour there. So it's not chalky at all. It's got just the right amount of pigmentation and is very easy to blend and looks very subtle and natural, which is what you want in a blush if you're an adult. I'm also gonna apply the Too Faced Sweetie Pie bronzer on the adult side just to warm up the face. And we're skipping bronzer on the kid side just because there is not one bronzing product in all of the kits that I bought. Now moving on to lips, for the kid side, we're going back into this palette and using all these really pretty sparkly lip products. There's even a lip brush in there, and I'm gonna choose Bright Pink. So goopy, I was not expecting it to be that goopy. Oh, so even though it's like super bright pink, in the pan, it's just like a clear gloss when you apply it on the lips. I wonder if all of them are like that. Let me try another shade. We'll go with this one. This one? No, they're all pretty clear. So they fool you into thinking that they have some color, but they're all really like super sheer, clear glosses that are very, very thick and sticky. And after just one use, that's what happened. I feel like a child would go through that very, very quickly. Now for the adult side, I'm gonna use a classic MAC shade. This is the shade Kinda Sexy, which is a very, very popular shade. It's very neutral and can be worn every day. And of course, I'm gonna use a lip liner. This one is Whirl from MAC, just to make sure we have a precise application. And you see it's very pigmented. It's also matte, so it's gonna be long wearing. It's not gonna do that. So lips are done. A child would probably find a nude lip color very boring. That's why they made the lip shades very bright in the pan, but unfortunately they do go on glossy, so I feel like that'd be disappointing for a child. But regardless, this is what it looks like. The gloss finish is definitely very childlike, and a more matte, sophisticated finish is something an adult would reach for more. So we're nearly done. We have one final kids product tryout. They actually had a moisturizing makeup setting spray, which was like, what? So we're gonna use that on the kids side. Actually smells really good, and it had a pretty good spritz out of there, so that was a decent bottle. I wonder what it'll do to the makeup though. So now on the adult side, we'll use MAC Fix Plus, which is a very popular setting spray. So I'm just gonna press that into the skin. It's gonna help to melt all the powders together and make your makeup look more natural and skin-like. So you can see the setting spray on the kid side definitely made my skin super, super greasy. And then MAC Fix Plus is still drying right now, but it's just added like a natural skin-like finish to like my foundation and melted all the powders together. All right, guys, so these are the finished looks on both sides. We have the kids side using all kids makeup and kind of applying it how a child would using what they have. And then we have the adult side using more neutral colors, makeup techniques that are very basic but widely known, and obviously products that are more attainable to an adult who is making some sort of income and investing in their beauty routine. I think it's really cool to see them side by side. You can kind of see where you start out in makeup and then where you can progress if you practice. And for sure, when you're a kid, you think that makeup is like the best makeup in the world and so amazing, and then clearly you grow up and realize what you actually need in makeup products and that these don't do it for you. That's for sure. They're really pretty to look at though. So that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and of course watch these videos of mine if you haven't seen them yet. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed this kind of video, and I'll be sure to do something like this in the future. And that's all for now. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys. Bye.